Let's do some dogs. We gave him some expression, so he's got a little funky hat. I want to do a popsicle. They're kind of like a shape like this. Maybe there's a bird passing in front of the popsicle. Good day, creative friends. I hope you're well. So today I am going to be working in my sketchbook. And the idea is to fill up an entire page with little doodles, little vignettes. And so I'm just gesturing here because at some point I thought I was going to have a real-time dialogue with you, but it turned out differently. But the idea is that I would have kind of like 9 vignettes across the page. And these are spontaneous. Sometimes I do have an idea. For instance, that little shape that I'm doing right now is supposed to be a popsicle. Sometimes I have like a very, very small idea and then I run with it and it morphs into something else. But I seem to be favoring a lot of curvy lines and loops these days. And then once I'm done with the shapes or whatever I'm doing, then I just add some patterning, and later on I will be adding watercolor, so fear not those that are here for watercolor. But I know quite a few of you are enjoying the doodles. I have shared some of these with my patrons throughout the week because I just can't stop making them. I've been doing that for the past week and a half now, and I asked them to stop me but they don't want to. They're just fun. They're just fun. They're, like I said, most of this is spontaneous. I try not to overthink the process, and I keep it small. And when I say sometimes it morphs into something else, this was clearly inspired by the letter A. And then I added B and C, which you'll see in a second. But it did not stay like this. So if you've paid attention to the intro, you already have an idea of where I'm going with this, but that didn't come until later. So it's just a lot of fun. This is the perfect platform where you can let your imagination run wild and anything goes. And because it's in my sketchbook, I don't care if I mess up. Now, I know some of you are going to ask me about what type of paper this is. Honestly, I don't know. This is my second sketchbook of by that same company. All I know is that it's called Belvedere, and the first one was gifted to me as a Christmas gift. And there it is. There's the horsey. And that's all I know. I was told where it came from, so it's a local bookstore here in Montreal. For those that are local, I got this from, I actually ordered it online from Indigo or Chapters, whatever you want to call it. It's the same. And it's just a sketchbook. The paper feels like it's cotton, but it's not the highest quality, and it's quite thin. I don't know. There's no other information about the paper, so I can't tell you more specifics. But what I try to do, though, because I know that I'm going to be adding watercolor to this, I tend to use an ink pen that won't bleed. But having said this, sometimes you can find some pens react differently to some papers. So, for instance, this one, the Signo DX, which is a Uni-ball pen, is not waterproof on watercolor paper, but on this paper, tea break, on this paper, it is. So I didn't have a problem with adding the watercolor after. But if you're doing this kind of stuff and it's not in your sketchbook, you want to do something a little bit more, dare I say, professional. I hate that word, but a little bit more polished, especially if you're going to give this to someone. Because, I mean, You can be as detailed as you want with these. So let's say you're giving this as a gift. I would test out the material first. So if you're doing it on watercolor paper, I would test out the pen with the watercolor. Again, I have to apologize because I'm holding my pen in such a way that I'm hiding the doodles, which defeats the purpose of this video. But this is my natural grip, so it's hard to remember to change it when I'm so engrossed in what I'm doing. And because I have an overhead filming installation, unfortunately, it hides everything I do. So, and sometimes I use my phone to film some side shots, but on that day my phone was recharging and it's not the best, honestly. So I'm looking into investing in a second camera. There's a lot of changes that need to be made in terms of filming, but we'll get there. Okay, so in time to add watercolor, I'm only going to be using two colors, which are indigo and lemon yellow. So lemon yellow is not a color that I'm very familiar with. In fact, I can't even remember the last time I used it as a standalone color. I've used it to mix some stuff, but here I'm going to use it both ways. So I will be using it also to mix with indigo to create various shades of green. And I wanted the colors to be of medium value, like I didn't want to have them too dark. I guess I'm influenced by the fact that we're officially in the spring solstice. So, do we say spring solstice? Yes, I think so. It's officially spring. So, I'm thinking pastel, bright, fresh. And the yellow, the lemon yellow is playful. It's a cold yellow, but I don't know, it's a fun color, but I couldn't help but smile the whole time that I was using it because it's so not me. And it's fun. That's definitely something that got me out of my comfort zone. And you'll notice that I'm not filling all of the shapes. I'm just using the color randomly because I didn't want to add color everywhere. I think these doodles could stand on their own without color, especially if you're using the black pen to darken or to fill in some of the shapes like I've done with the stripes that you're seeing in the first vignette and the inside of the loops. So that gives you a nice contrast to play with. So color is fun, yes, but I don't think it's always necessary. And at the end of the day, this is in my sketchbook, so the idea is to do a whole bunch to create as much as possible and fill up a page and then move on and do another one. I find myself telling stories about my art most of the time when I draw or when I paint. It might start spontaneously, and then all of a sudden I'm reading into my painting, and the paintings or the drawings come alive. They become things, things more representative. For instance, like the horse, or the one that I'm painting right now. I didn't like it. I still don't. It's not my favorite, but I started calling it heart failure. I know the word failure is quite fatalistic. I don't know how to say this, but and also because it's got a heartbeat diagram at the bottom, kind of. Oh, that's wrong. It's kind of macabre in a way, but this is how I felt. And so while I was doing this specifically for these doodles, I thought, wouldn't it be fun if I could poll my viewers and see if they can name these vignettes? And the reason I guess I have behind this is to see who is as crazy as I am. And I mean this in the best possible way, but who thinks the way I do? I'm just very curious. So if you want to play along, this is strictly for fun. There's no prize attached to it. It's not a challenge. It's just something like a little game that we can play together. But considering there are 9 vignettes on my page, let's number them 1 through 9, starting from the top left and, going across each rows to end up with number 9 with this big flower. So the popsicle would be number 2, for example, and the horse would be number 1, 2, 3, 4, number 4. So leave your answers in the comments down below. I'm very curious. I think it would be a fun game to play as well. I can't wait to read your answers. So I hope that this video is giving you the inspiration to create, exercise those muscles, do a whole bunch. Doesn't have to be refined or polished, just add some lines, some squiggles, some loops. Start with one loop, do another one on top. It's that simple. Your first attempts might be hesitant, but eventually you'll get into the groove. I promise you that the more you do, the more it'll be easy to do. So don't stop at the first one, just keep going. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you all so very much for watching. I also want to say, of course, a big thank you to my awesome patrons who support my art over at Patreon and who were subjected to a lot of doodles this week. So thank you guys so much. I wish you a wonderful and creative week. Please stay safe and healthy, and I will see you soon.